Sun. These are our folks born from July 23rd through August 22nd. Leo, as you may know if you are a Leo or if you've dated or if you're dating a Leo, this is the lion. That's the symbol, the animal symbol. When I think of Leo, I think of the sun, though. I like to think of the way that a lion radiates its roar out away from itself, right? Our sun radiates its light and energy and radiation out from its body, which of course keeps our planet here, the Earth, keeps our ecosystem working, keeps us all alive. It's why we have plants to eat and animals have plants to eat, and etc., and oxygen and all the good stuff that we need here to keep this beautiful planet humming. So with that comes creativity. You think of all the things that are here on the earth, and it's a process of creation, of birth and death and regeneration and over again. That's all fueled by the sun. So when you think of a Leo, I want you to think of this dynamic, outward, creative energy. That is Leo. A Leo is here to self-express. They're here to be heard, to be seen. Many times Leos, if someone has a very strong Leo chart, you know them when you see them. I met two Leos just this past week, and I knew immediately before they even told me their birthday that they were Leo, or at least had a Leo rising or a Leo moon, you know. Leo has a colorfulness, and not literal colorfulness necessarily, although it can be, but there is a sparkly, energetic, charismatic energy that comes from the Leo. Okay. Now, on the high side with Leo, we have a fixed sign. So this is someone who, once they've made their mind up about something, they're quite loyal and they're committed, sometimes to a fault even. They can sometimes, like the Taurus or sometimes the Scorp, or, you know, they sometimes can get themselves in situations where they stay longer than they should, okay? Not always. Now, if they're, as long as they're being admired and they feel like this is a situation where they're getting their pets and the affection and the time and the admiration that they need from their partner, they can overstay relationships that are maybe with partners who are on again, off again. You know, that can sometimes happen to a Leo, because when it's on, it's really good and they feel fantastic, and then when it's off, they can feel dejected and they want to win back the on again affections of their partner, if that makes sense. So that can happen sometimes with Leo. Now, back to the Leo temperament, though. Also, this is a personality type that's quite protective of loved ones. It's a fire sign. They have a natural leadership quality to them. They are warm and affectionate. They're quite generous. They like to, many times, a lot of Leo's men in particular, they're gift givers, you know. Because there's a nostalgia, sort of like the way Cancer is nostalgic, but in a different way. They like to be giving the gifts or giving the love. You know, that's this outward flow of energy. But also, let's move to the shadow side of Leo. On the shadow side, Leo can also be pouty. If they're not getting the attention that they want or that they feel they deserve, they can be pouty. They can be you know, like they're the divine child, actually, of the zodiac, the divine child, the sun, and you know, they can, at times, if they feel like they're not being loved by their partner, as a mother would love a child, they pout like a little baby. So also, Leos need to feel like they're number one. They need to feel like they are the be-all and end-all. I have so many clients. This is really funny. It's anecdotal, of course, but I would say I can think of right now 5 or 6 different clients who have and also 2 people that I've dated who have exes who have their moon in Leo, that are female with the moon in Leo, and who broke up with, okay, mind you, they broke up with the male partner, but then after that male partner has moved on to a new female, the Leo moons come back into the picture, okay? Or they still need to feel like they're number one, even though they don't even really care about the partner, okay? Now this is shadow side. So hopefully if you're listening to this and you're a Leo, you don't do such silly tricks. But if you do, we're on to you. Also, you've got, they can be vain, right? They can be proud, dignified on the high side, and proud kind of on the like low functioning side, where they don't want to look bad, so they can cover their tracks, or, you know, lie about something to save face. They're such good salespeople. They're so good at talking you into whatever it is that they kind of have in mind. Like a true Leo, they're so enthusiastic and charismatic. You feel like, well, yeah, I want to do whatever it is you're talking about. That sounds great. They can really sell people into something. But that can also make them seem a little. They can be bossy sometimes, or they can be a little overbearing with what they think is the right way. If you're working like in a team, sometimes the Leo can be like wants to get its way. It's the king and the queen, so they can be a little demanding or bossy. But ultimately, they are a strong leader, and a lot of times they are correct. They have a good intuition, and it's different than a water sign intuition. It's a fire sign intuition. It's just kind of like they'll strike out and try something, and if it doesn't quite go the way that they expect it to go, they'll fix it and make it go the way. You know what I mean? That's a fixed energy. It's like taking what you've got in the present moment and making it work. Okay. Applying energy to that to make it work. Now, as far as also another shadow side thing, they do have a high need for thank yous and for praise. And I don't know that that's necessarily shadow side or low functioning. I feel like that's actually just, if you as a partner or a friend, if you understand your Leo, you recognize that they are generous and they give, okay? But they don't do it the way a Virgo does it, where it's like self-effacing, like they give. They don't really expect or nor kind of in a way want or feel comfortable with receiving in return. Leo's not like that. Leo's the divine child. It's like a kid playing. They want to throw you the ball, and then they want you to throw it back to them. Like, okay, like they want the back and forth. They want to give to. It's just like the sun and the moon, right? So the sun shines on the moon reflects the light back. They just want this reciprocity there, and they want to be told thank you, or like to recognize that they're making an effort and they're focusing all their divine energy on you. So recognize that and know that you are with someone who is here to express their ego. So you need to support that sort of life purpose. Okay, Leo's in love. Now you've got a Leo, someone who's true Leo. They're very romantic, they're ardent, and because remember we talked about them being the divine child, there's an innocence to the way that they love. They like to have fun, they like to be spontaneous and surprise their partner with, whether it's a fun trip or it's even just something simple like a love letter that they've left for you on the counter, or, a female Leo, I can see her leaving like lipstick kisses and words and stuff on the mirror, like that kind of thing. Like they like to demonstrate and express their love when they're really in love with someone, and they're really proud. Like on social media, you see Leos, they'd be posting like pictures of their partner and the two of them together, and they want to show you off. And it's out of this place of kind of like, they just admire you as well. And so when they admire, they have to like let others know. They can't like keep it to themselves. Okay, Leo's expectations in love. Now, Leos many times, like I said earlier, they have a little pride and dignity to themselves in the way that they operate. They appreciate a partner who also takes pride in themselves. And this includes physically. A lot of Leos, they can be kind of flashy with the way that they dress. You could have a Leo that started out, with not a lot of money, and then gets a job in the real world, and starts making some good money, and then the first thing they would do is go out and buy some really nice clothes. Like they like to, again, because they're this energy that's about flowing outward from this. It's an extroverted expression of energy. So to be seen, to be heard, to make a mark, that's Leo. And so the way you dress many times, they can be bold. So they like a partner who is also someone who presents well, someone that they can take out in public and be proud of. Now, also expectations. They expect loyalty. They are loyal. If they've committed to you, if they're in love with you, with a Leo, okay? Of course, the whole chart, we need to look at the whole chart, but Leo's quite expressive and ardent. When they're in love, they can't help but tell you, so you will know. And if you violate that and you are not loyal in return, that will really anger a Leo. And it's the one thing that would make a Leo leave, really. And a Leo who stays in a situation where their partner is cheating on them, they've got to have some, water or earth on that moon, or, some other things happening there, perhaps some Virgo Pisces stuff happening, or 6 and 12 house stuff happening to get them to stay, and they're going to hate themselves the whole time that they're staying. So loyalty is important. Leo's biggest fear is, their number one kind of, remember, they're the sun. So they need to be recognized. They need to feel like they're doing something with their life that's important. In their relationships, they need to feel like they're important to the partner. There is a little bit of an egocentrism to them. I mean, look, the sun It's our star that holds our entire solar system together. So they probably deserve, and they probably, you know, a Leo typically, and if, as long as they're well aspected, they're quite loving and they deserve the admiration that they need, you know, they seek. Their biggest concern is that they're not important, that they're not, you know, number one to their partner, that they're not number one in whatever their field of work is. You know, they're quite ambitious. Because it's the sense that you came, you lived your life, but you didn't do the one thing you were supposed to come do, which is leave a mark, an indelible mark that's unique to you. That's Leo's mission. So if they feel like they're not accomplishing that, then you got a sad Leo. So that's their fear. So support them in their efforts, their creative efforts, their career efforts. Be patient with them when they do go through a little ego, times where they get a little, kind of a little inflated ego. If you can help bring them back to earth, that's always good. But do it in a nice way without hurting their dignity. Okay? And ultimately, they just need love and affection returned back to them. They're pretty simple. They want to be admired, loved, and snuggled, and all of that good stuff. So that's your Leo. Pisces. Pisces Sun are our individuals born from February 19th through March 20th. Pisces types are, you know, the two fish swimming in opposite directions. This suggests the mutable nature of the Pisces, the occasional go with the flow nature, and the passivity that sometimes can accompany a Pisces personality type, where on the high side it can be flexibility, and they can sort of, again, go with the flow. It's better to be a willow, you know, that's going to bend in the wind rather than an oak tree that's got branches that are about to be blasted off. But it can also be going with the flow without actively deciding the direction of their little swimming flow, okay? Now, with Pisces also ruled by Neptune, this is Neptunian energy to me is this higher octave of Venus. You know, Venus is our planet that's to do with love and harmonizing and beauty, but it's more of a pleasure-based, kind of almost a selfish version of love. Neptune is the love that is compassion. It's the Christed, selfless version of love. It's self-sacrifice. It's that higher ideal of love, and it would be the love that holds the universe together. So when you've got that translated through a sun sign and through a personality type, you have someone who has a natural compassion to them. And there's also this sensitivity and this sponge-like quality to a Pisces because they understand the oneness. So they understand the connection between themselves and other people, meaning they also see deeper levels of humans, of other humans, and they see the soul level, and they have compassion for people. Like they get why people are terrible at times and wonderful at other times, and they are okay with kind of sitting with all of that, and they're very accepting. And unlike my dogs who are fighting with each other, they're very accepting of people's flaws and faults. And sometimes that means they get themselves into situations where they're in unhealthy relationships, where there's abuse, or there's, if not physical, some sort of kind of them being taken advantage of. That can happen with our Pisces types. Pisces men sometimes will go after the female as sort of the knight in shining armor because he needs to have this higher purpose he's serving. So if you see someone who needs him, who needs to be healed, he will then try to step into that role. Pisces females as well. Pisces females are like notorious for going for kind of the bad boy, thinking that she can help him clean up his act and that he will finally fall in love and finally come to this place of harmony and balance in his life and be happy through her sort of all-sacrificing love. Of course, we kind of know where that story goes, and it's not really fairy tale. The ending, usually the Pisces end up being disillusioned by the relationships, hurt, and they, a lot of times, the thing of Pisces too is there can be, we'll go into the high functioning, low functioning, but there can be an emotional enmeshment that happens. So with that, actually, let's move into the functions. Let's move into high functioning and low functioning. So high functioning Pisces, you've got someone, again, compassionate, loving, they're sensitive to their partner's needs. They recognize when you need something and they're willing to fill that need. They're very comfortable in that role of taking care of people's needs. They're self-sacrificing. There's a kindness there. There is a go with the flow quality too. They're going to be devoted to their partner, and wherever that partner wants to go, many times a Pisces will defer to the partner. They're intuitive. They've got this egoless quality to them, which makes them feel kind of like old souls. It feels like they're getting everything. We're still kind of like, each of us is sort of maybe focused on a certain part of relating. It's like the Pisces gets the whole thing, and so they're just kind of sitting back watching you, just kind of like laid back and going, oh, you're going to do that right now. Okay. You know, there can be that quality to Pisces. There's just wisdom there. But also, you know, with this tendency to give, and to take care of people, and to not express what it is that they need. A lot of times Pisces are, because they're so like egoless, they're just like, whatever. And go with the flow, so they just don't like say what they need. Their partner, they could end up with partners. They do a lot of times end up with partners take advantage of them, or that take advantage of their good graces and don't reciprocate the same kind of love. Also, Pisces, also another thing would be they've got a natural intuition, as all of the water signs do. There's a psychic gift there, and it's sort of a knowingness when it deals with other people's emotions and the people's where someone else is sort of sitting, and they just kind of know things. That's Piscean. Okay, low functioning Pisces. Big issue with Pisces and Virgo is the issue of self-martyrdom. Taking on, you know, for the group, for the family, like being a mother who is a Pisces who, let's say, has an Aries moon and, you know, decides to be a stay-at-home mom, but the whole time she's regretting the decision or feeling like she has to constantly stop herself from doing the things she really wants to do. Pisces energy can be one that is so self-deprecating or like ego. It's like they're being purified from the ego kind of a deal. So it's like the egos, they don't like expressing their wants and their needs sometimes, a lot of times. They have a hard time telling you if what you're doing is crossing a boundary for them, because they're all about blending boundaries. They're like, it's like taking mushrooms where the boundaries between two people go away, or so I hear. That's what they say. And also, you know, they can be codependent. And again, this is codependency not from the necessarily the diagnostic manual's version of what codependency is. Okay, we're just saying, think of the expression of codependency and what that looks like when you've got one partner who is the codependent, who's got another, whose partner they see as having a weakness or a flaw or an addiction of some kind, right? And their job is to kind of enable that person and to also indirectly control that person's life by being needed by the person who has the addiction, right? And in turn, that gives them a sense of safety and security. So Pisces can step into these roles quite frequently. Anyone who's got 12th house, 6th house, Pisces sun, moon, Virgo sun, moon, even rising sign to a certain extent, will experience these relationships. It's just part of your soul path with this energy. It's these relationships that are a little bit unbalanced and unfair, where one person's serving the other one without being served in return. Okay. And also those issues of the codependent relationship, perhaps with a narcissist. Again, I'm using these terms loosely, okay, to just help you understand, to sort of illustrate what I'm trying to say here. So you could see a Pisces with a narcissistic type personality, where the Pisces takes care of this narcissist's needs, does everything for them, cleans their house, takes care of their pets, does their laundry, blah, 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 whatever, pays the bills, and really kind of gets nothing in return. And in fact, that narcissist actually ends up leaving them or cheating on them. You know, that kind of thing. That's a Pisces. It can be a Pisces lot in life. Pisces has to learn that they're worthy of receiving that love in return, and that even though you're seeing the soul in somebody, they can still, all of us have beautiful souls, all of us, right? But sometimes in this particular incarnation, we may not be operating and behaving in a way that we're allowing that good part of us to be expressed. We might express the asshole side of us. And so just the Pisces need to be careful that they are really clear in their romantic relationships about where their partner's coming from, and not what they are projecting onto the partner or what they think the partner is like on the inside, and that waiting game where you're waiting for that sweet part to come out, because it's most likely never going to come out. So with Pisces, they can be a little elusive. They can sometimes, with a partner might have a hard time pinning them down. Like, how do you really feel? What are you really thinking about this? The partner might always kind of feel like the Pisces is holding something back. And they can be. Or they can just be typical Pisces, where they kind of don't know themselves. They're not quite sure. They're like, oh, I don't know. You know, it just is. You know, that's a Pisces sentimentality. The codependency I mentioned, they can also, at times, Pisces can have this need for validation from a partner. This is an unhealthy Pisces. Again, this is a Pisces who's wanting to merge and, like, you know, and mesh with the partner in a way that's not healthy. And because Pisces is this nebulous, mutable energy, if they have a really strong partner, the partner will give them shape and structure, and they'll feel like they have a purpose and a meaning and a belonging, and then they'll kind of know what to do with themselves. So a lot of times Pisces types will really want this partner to kind of make things make sense for them. They may already know what they know in this really subconscious way, but they need this partner who can externalize that for them, so they'll project onto the partner. And so hopefully they're not projecting the part of them that needs to be seen as this savior or this healer in a negative way. Hopefully they can find a partner where it works, where they can express that in a positive way of interdependent love. Pisces in love. So here we've got our givers of the zodiac. These are Pisces have this sort of perfected sense of what self-sacrifice is. They get it. They get, why are you being selfish? They get what it means to be the opposite of, why are you being selfish? They're the ones that know how to just give without expecting anything in return. It's just genuinely just giving. So with that, in love, sometimes they can have this ability to, actually, let me scratch that part. La, la, la. Okay, so with Pisces, we have the givers of our zodiac. These are the compassionate souls that know how to heal another human through a very soulful method. They're able to see you for who you really are, and I think many times that's all that someone needs, is to really be seen. But the other person's not always ready to be seen. The other person's not always ready to be healed. So sometimes in love, I can be a little disappointed when they're waiting around for someone to sort of improve themselves, and this person never kind of rises up to the level that the Pisces knows that person's at. They just get here and never up to here. But with the Pisces, this ability in a relationship to sort of, they can shape themselves because they've got this flexibility with their personality, and this mutability, this sort of I was thinking of them as a mermaid rather than the fish. That to me is a perfect symbol for a Pisces. It's this beautiful mermaid shimmering in the distance that the partner can never get to. It's that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You can never quite get there. There's an elusive quality. And I have a sense that a Pisces themselves never fully knows themselves, and through partnership, many times that merge with a partner, it's almost like they can sublimate or send their own ego energy through the partner and see it reflected in the partner's behavior and actions, and then they can understand themselves better. If that makes any sense. That was really quite deep or abstract, so I hope it made sense. With Pisces, their expectations, though, in love, they have this idea of the soulmate, the soul union, which is really what they want. And so hopefully, you're a healthy Pisces and you found someone else who's coming from that same place, and someone you can merge with in a healthy way, where you've got an interdependent relationship and this deep connected love, but it's not operating from a place of needing to control the partner or needing to have the partnership give you security, okay? The boundaries, that's the one thing, they want their boundaries kind of eliminated between themselves and their partner. They want no boundaries. They want a connection that's very pure. So, that can be uncomfortable for some people. Some people don't want to have the foundation taken out from underneath their building, which is, Pisces can do that. All the water signs, Scorps can too, and so can Cancers. They can kind of try and build underneath your building, you're like, whoa, you need to back it up and put it out here and not under my building, because that's really uncomfortable. You're taking from my security for your own security, okay? So Pisces need to be able to have that merge with the partner, have that openness with the partner and that connectedness, while allowing their partner freedom to feel however they feel. The partner, may not always want to be mushy, squished up against you, literally or figuratively, all right? Pisces' biggest secret, fear, is kind of like that they'll drift off into oblivion, in a sense. Now, this is quite abstract, but imagine it's this idea that the earthly life is not really meant for them. It's this idea that they're from elsewhere, they don't belong here, that they can never quite find that other twin soul, that twin flame that they can blend with and merge with in perfect harmony and unison and oneness. And because of that they will drift away. So the emotions are deep for a Pisces, and they can go to places that are, full of despair if they feel like they don't have hope for their future, for this oneness idea, for this total acceptance of who they are on a very deep soul level, the way that they will see and accept someone else. So their fear is ultimately just kind of floating out into the sea alone, into the oblivion, really, into the nothingness, the abyss. So they need a partner that's grounded, that is directed and can kind of give some shape to the parts of them that are more mutable and flexible and bendable. So they have some direction. All right, we've got a Leo and a Pisces. Leo and Pisces Sun Compatibility. This is a nice combination, believe it or not, if you've got a male Leo and a female Pisces. I like that better than the other way around. Unless you have a really super vain Leo female that's on the shadow side, that's operating from a place that's like lower functioning. And you've got a Pisces male who wants to just be her doormat. That could happen and could work. And I'm not saying that if you're a Leo female with a Pisces male, that's the situation with you guys, but that element is going to be part of the relationship, okay? Pisces wants to serve, Pisces wants to give, and Leo is a personality type that also is very generous, but they sort of expect that reciprocal attention. And so Pisces is good at that. Pisces is good at providing affection and love, and Leo will happily take it on. Now, these two long-term interaction, you could run into, and also kind of conflict, you could run into the Pisces has an imagination on them, and they can sometimes not be very grounded. And Leos are quite grounded. Leos are quite practical, actually. Well, I don't know if the word's practical. It's just they are in this sensory world, okay? They're looking around and constantly sort of aware of what's happening around them and who's noticing them and who's not. And, you know, there's, of course, that vanity thing with Leo, but they're just aware of what's going on around them. And Pisces can sort of be spacey sometimes. So there's a little bit of a difference in the way that they just in general approach life. Harmony between these two, though, could be quite romantic. Pisces are idealistic when it comes to love and romance, and Leos are more than happy to provide the fuel for that fantasy. Leos like to be, as long as the Leo is sort of the center of the Pisces attention, then it can be fantastic. And a Leo male in particular, if you've got a Leo male that's a really, really Leo strong ego, he could really like that feminine female Pisces who just dotes on him and takes care of him. Now, conflict, you know, as long as that Leo is returning that affection to the Pisces, then we're good. The Pisces might be a little too fanciful and sort of in the fantasy world for the Leo at times, though I could see that happening. And also the Pisces has a desire to help a lot of different people. The Leo could feel like, I want all of your attention. I don't want you giving it to anyone else. So you could run into that as a conflict. How other people will see this coupling, they'll look romantic, and it will look like the Pisces just looking up at her Leo, or even as a Pisces man, you know, like admiring putting his Leo female on this pedestal and that she's this goddess and this queen. So there's this sort of highly idealized thing happening there, and people might be like, are you guys really seeing the whole picture? So let me know how your Leo-Pisces relationship has played out. I'm curious to hear if that's been a pattern or a theme you've seen in your interactions. And yeah, let's talk below. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.